Students, I'm Mr. Kelvin Tan again. So in this lesson, we'll be teaching you what economic integration is. Most is to show you the various ways in which two countries or more can merge together to form a common entity. So what do we mean by economic integration? It refers to the process whereby neighboring countries integrate as one economic unit to take advantage of the extended market and to bring about a better allocation of resources. So the loosest form of integration, it starts with a FTA, which is a free trade area. And as you move to the right, okay, as a free trade area become a custom unions, it is a closer form of integration. And when it moves to a common market, it's an even closer form of economic integration. So these three are the terms that you have to understand for your H2 syllabus. So let's start with the loosest form of integration, a free trade agreement. An FTA, right, is an agreement between member countries to remove all barriers to trade between goods and services among themselves. Now, many FTAs, they will also try to remove the barriers to investment. That means FDI can flow from one country to another without being restricted. But this is not a required part. However, each member, right, is allowed to retain its own trade barriers against non-member countries. As I've said, a custom unions is an even closer form of economic integration than FTA. So think of custom unions as FTA plus something. So in this case, right, member countries who form a custom unions, not only are they an FTA, that means they agree to remove all trade barriers among themselves, in addition, they adopt a common external tariff for non-member countries. Let me use a picture to show you all the difference between an FTA and a custom unions and how an FTA is not as close as a custom unions when it comes to economic integration. So let's say this is country A and country B and country C. Okay, let me copy this. Country A imposed a tariff of 5% on all goods coming from country C. Country B, they imposed a tariff of 20% for every good that comes from country C. And let's say A and B, right, currently there's a 10% tariff that they impose on each other. Now, suppose A and B signs an FTA. What does that mean? That means when A and B signs an FTA, this 10% must become 0%. Okay, they agree to drop all import tariffs between their goods, but A and B, right, are allowed to keep the 5% and 20% that they are imposing on a country that is not part of the FTA. So A can keep it at 5%, B keep it at 20%. You can see that this FTA will allow C to do something. If C want to sell goods to B but don't want to pay so much of a tariff, and if C knows that A and B and have already signed an FTA, what can C do to get the goods to B? They can first export the goods to A, paying the 5%, and then they can set up some kind of subsidiary, some kind of firm in country A to make use of the FTA that's signed between A and B to re-export those same goods to B and pay 0%. So if B knows about this, right, obviously he will not be too happy. So let's see how a custom unions will solve this issue. For custom unions, okay, let's draw A, B, and C. Okay, again, okay, there are some tariffs. So if A and B signs a custom unions on the right side, what happens is that not only do they agree to an FTA, that means they agree to drop all import barriers. For a non-member of the custom union C, right, A and B must agree on a common tariff. Now, it need not be 5%, it need not be 20%, as long as it's common. Okay, so let's say, for example, 10%. 10%, 10%. So you can see that with this common external tariff, right, the only way country C can get their goods into A or B, they must pay 10%. So this is why custom unions is seen as a more closer integration than a FTA. An even closer form of integration is a common market. So think of common market as custom unions plus something else. So not only is there a custom unions, a common market, right, they also allow the free movement of capital and labor between the countries. So later on, you'll be learning globalization. This is the definition of globalization. Not only is there free movement of goods and services, factors of production such as capital and labor can also move freely between countries. Now, in addition, right, some common markets, not all, they may have common systems of laws and regulations to govern production, employment, and trade. So the European Common Market is a good example of this. There's an institution called the European Commission, the EC, that is responsible for enforcing a common set of laws that every member country of the European Common Market must have. So this represents a very close form of integration. Now, these are not in your notes, but you can think about even closer form of integration rather than beyond a common market. So the next stage, right, is usually a monetary union. So the European Monetary Union, right, is example. So UK, right, okay, UK is, in a sense, okay, we have read in the news that UK is they are going to they are undergoing Brexit, means they are leaving the European Common Market. But before that, right, UK is part of the European Common Market, but they are not part of the European Monetary Union. What's the difference? A monetary union, right, is where Greece, Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and the like, they are part of the monetary union. Not only do they have a common market, they also agree to use a common currency. UK still has its pound. Now, this has a lot of implication for monetary policy. If you want to join the European Monetary Union, you must agree to have a common monetary policy for every country. Spain, for example, right, they cannot lower the interest rate unilaterally. So what happened in the European Monetary Union is that there's another institution called the European Central Bank, ECB, that will decide on a common interest rate that every country in the monetary union must have. So in this case, when you join the monetary union, okay, you also give up control over your own monetary policy. So before Brexit, UK was not willing to give up the control of its monetary policy, so it still retains its pound and can set its own interest rate. And of course, the ultimate in economic integration is a fiscal union. So look at the United States of America, the 50 states of US, right? Not only are they an FTA, not only are they a custom unions, not only are they a common market, not only are they a monetary union, on top of that, they also have a central government that has the power to tax one of the 50 states to help another state. The European Monetary Union is not there yet. Okay, the European Commission, the European Central Bank cannot tax France to help Spain or tax Germany to help Italy. So they don't share this yet. So a fiscal union, right, is a very, very close form of economic integration. Effectively, you are the same country.